And there's no doubt that Vince was getting more stroke as the company continues to enjoy so much success. He's pretty hot and bothered about Barry Blaustein's movie Beyond the Map, the same movie that he allowed cameras to film backstage, but maybe.
Well, hang on a second. See, you're saying movie. It was never presented to us as a movie.
Okay.
It was presented to us as a documentary and an art house documentary that would be released in art houses in very select release. It was never sold to us as being a movie, because if it had been sold to us as a movie, that would have been a completely different conversation.
You mean a theatrical release?
Yes.
Okay. Well, he's pretty upset. Pronoun boy, he being Vince. He demands that UPN and USA pull the advertising that have been allocated for Beyond the Mat. We've talked about this in the archives before, so if you want to hear more about Beyond the Mat, it's all available for you over at something.
Well, and again, it's important that you understand that when you're doing a documentary, okay, people don't get paid for that. That's you're covering that. When you do a theatrical release for a motion picture, there's a lot of money involved there, and usually you're paying the people that you're interviewing and you're paying the people that you are filming. So the representation in the beginning by Ron Howard as well was one of, no, this is just a documentary. This is not something that's going to be theatrically released. And I think after everything was done, it was like, oh my God, look at how big the business has become. We could release this theatrically and make a lot of money, which is what they did. Don't know how much money they made, but they did release it theatrically, and that was never the deal. I don't think we would have been a part of it had that been the deal.
It was just a revenue issue.
It was a revenue issue, and also it was a good faith issue that, it's, hey, Conrad, let me come to your house and I want to record you and have access to everything that you do. Because I'm just going to put a documentary together, and this will be seen in very small circles. This is before Netflix. This is before,
right.
The documentary was something that was, again, seen in art houses. It was seen in, maybe you could sell it to a History Channel or something like that. So it was not what they have become. So it was presented, and it was first presented by Ron Howard. And again, it was the semantics, and it was, let me use your name, but I'm not going to pay you for your name. I'm not going to pay you for what that means. And I'm going to go sell it over here if you'll let me, if you'll let me shoot it, versus I want to use your name and I want to be able to tell a behind the scenes story. I'm not going to make any money off of this, maybe minimal for the art house and what have you. It just was not what it was represented in the beginning, is not what it turned out to be.
Well, if you were curious, I don't know that you really were, but if you were curious, $2 million, that's what Beyond the Mat did in theaters. So
okay,
didn't exactly do big box office.
But could you imagine what it would have done if they'd come in and said, "Hey, we want to do a movie," and we got behind it?
Yeah, crazy.
It would have done a lot more.
Do you think that'll ever happen?
What?
That there will be, I know that, there's been documentaries that are being produced and things like that about the way WWE operates, or maybe just Vince, I don't know. But I'm just wondering, let's say, imagine in 2024, do you think there's a scenario where TKO perhaps would, in the current wrestling climate, could a movie like that work? The movie you're describing and the company promote it.
Sure.
People go to the theater.
Yeah, it could. I don't think, I can't tell you the last time I saw a movie in the theater.
I did yesterday, by the way, Late Night with the Devil, or something like that. You would really like that.
Okay. But you can't even remember the whole name of the movie. Is that what it was?
I think it was Late Night with the Devil.
Okay. So, but again, I think that for Peacock or for, yes, I think that they're out there. I think everything that whenever someone does a documentary or anything like that, now they are looking at it from the standpoint of, this is going to be an attraction. This is going to be something that, people are really going to want to see, and they promote them like movies. So yes.
Billy Gunn is also going to be taken out of DX on that show because of an injury suffered in a match against the Dudleys. And we know that that's the real reason the Outlaws dropped the titles to the Dudleys. But, man, the New Age Outlaws, it felt like they could have had a longer run on top. It feels like when they were at their absolute peak, I know that was 98, but here we are by 2000, and it doesn't feel like it's ever going to really get back on track. I mean, it all.
Well, I think that the big reason is that they remain the same. I think if they had evolved and tweaked the characters a little bit, and just kind of grew and did some things different, then you have to evolve. You look at the Undertaker. How many times the Undertaker has evolved from the black coat, and every time that he would come back, it would be different. Even if it's a different look, just different gear, different everything, a little bit different presentation, change something in the style of what you do in the ring. You look at Triple H. Triple H evolved to move on from DX to become Triple H, and then go on to be a single wrestler without all of that, only to go back and then do a new version of DX. At least it evolved and it was new. And I think that is kind of where Billy and Road Dogg, they were continuing to do the same thing that they were doing in 98. And you just have to, just little tweaks, change it up a little bit and give them something different to sink their teeth into, because after a while it gets old when it's the same old, Quebecer match. So that, I think, is one of the reasons that they kind of stagnated more than anything. Great talents, great tag team, but all the greats evolve.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what adfreeshows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-free shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus, ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that adfreeshows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. adfreeshows.com.